Brent.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
Good. You had spoken, I believe, at the Hall of Fame gathering when we were in this very room about the fact that you enjoyed the games, you enjoyed the food, and just kind of hanging out.
Sure did.
Really didn't watch all of the game. And you talk about the K-State family kind of being in flux right now. There must have been a time when it really became alarming to you, and I was just curious at what time did all this really become alarming to you? Would it be like fans leaving early against Texas Tech, or at what point?
Well, there's a lot of things that enter into it. That's a part of it. People that feel like they need to use me as a sounding board, sometimes, which I've refused to be. Hearing, I think probably John and Bob could probably tell you more about that than I can, but and I can't tell you when I became aware of their feelings. It was just kind of incremental, I think, over a period of time. But you're right, I did enjoy sitting up there and visiting with my family and eating hot dogs. And in fact, those are the only lunches I've ever had. Or up in this thing when we play afternoon games. That's I may go up at halftime and do that.
Two more questions, guys.
Bill, what do you think went wrong with the product that was being presented on the field exactly? Was it recruiting? Was it schematic? I mean, everything that's been going on in the last 5 years out there?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. I don't know. I will sit down at some point in time and look at videotapes and assess personnel, look schematically at things, but I couldn't tell you. And probably if I really knew, which I don't, if I really knew, I probably wouldn't share it with you. I mean, out of due respect, to the right people. Yeah.
Coach, back here in the middle, did you talk to any? Way back here, did you talk to any former players last night by chance? And how do you feel after 3 years of being away? You can be a better football coach than you were in your first stint.
Well, I think you learn a little bit about young people, because our society has changed so dramatically, has it not? I mean, it's changed in the last 3 years. It changed in the previous 3 years. But the changes today are so much more rapid. I mean, when I was first here in 1989, there were changes from 89 to 92 or whatever, but they didn't come so rapidly. And in the next 3 years there were changes, and they came more rapidly. And the next 3 years there were more changes, and they came more rapidly. And the last 3 years there are more changes, and they have come more rapidly in our society, in any facet of our society. Now, young people are so attuned to that. They didn't have all the electronics then that they have now. I mean, I've got two 12-year-old grandchildren up here. They've got every electronic thing that exists, and know so much more about, most of us, about how to operate them, how they work, and information is no longer, it's transmitted daily, frequently, and completely. And that changes our society, it changes people, and it certainly changes young people. And young people that can text all day long, in 1989, had no idea, didn't know what text meant. It's just those kind of changes put you in a position that you have to have or develop some understanding of where these young people who are 18, 19, 20, 21 years old, where they're coming from. Because they're not coming from the same place that they did 20 years ago. It's different. And so I think that becomes significant in being able to understand, the changes that have been made. I don't doubt the capacity to communicate with young people. And that's probably the question is, can you relate to today's young person? And probably when I meet with our players, you know, they're probably going to think that question. Don't know if they'll ask it or not, but they'll certainly think along those lines. But I'm going to ask or answer the question before it's asked. And, you know, and my answer would probably be, listen, you know, if you care, I can relate to you. You know, if you work hard, I can relate to you. If you want to do right and be a good person, I can relate to you. If you care about academics and will try to be the best student you can be, I can relate to you. You know, if you want to, and you get the message. You know, if you want to do some things that are contrary to those, then I probably have a hard time relating to you. And that's kind of, but that was the approach 20 years ago. That's the approach right now. That's what I feel. You know, if you really care about the young people that you have, then you care about all those things that are hard. It's hard with my own family, but they know those things. They know the intrinsic values are so significant and important to me, and that they should be important to them as well. And they know that I don't bend along those lines, not very well anyway.